I didn't tell my sister I was relieved her wedding was postponed. When my sister called me crying about the venue flooding 3 weeks before her big day, I said all the right things. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. We'll figure this out together. But inside, I felt something I couldn't explain. Relief. Not because I didn't want her to be happy. I wanted that more than anything. But there was something about Brian that had been eating at me for months, something I couldn't prove. It started at their engagement party. I was looking for the bathroom in his parents' house when I heard him on the phone in the study. His voice was different, softer, the way you talk to someone you love. I only caught the end. I'll see you Tuesday. You know I can't stay away. When he came out and saw me in the hallway, his face went white for half a second. Then he smiled and asked if I was lost. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a friend, maybe family. But the way he looked at me haunted me for weeks. I started paying attention after that. Little things that didn't add up. He'd excuse himself during family dinners to take calls outside. He'd be unavailable every Tuesday and Thursday evening. He told my sister it was his fantasy football league. Fantasy football doesn't meet twice a week year-round. I wanted to tell her. Every time I picked up the phone, I stopped myself. What if I was wrong? What if I destroyed her happiness over a phone call I barely heard? So I stayed quiet, watched, waited. The wedding got rescheduled for 3 months later. New venue, same everything else. My sister was stressed but excited. She asked me to help with the seating chart at her apartment while Brian was at work. That's when I found it. We were in the spare room she used as an office. I was looking for sticky notes in the desk drawer when my hand touched something cold. A phone. Not my sister's pink iPhone. A black Android with no case. My heart stopped. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But my fingers moved before my brain could stop them. The lock screen had no passcode. The home screen had 3 apps. Messages, photos, calendar. I opened messages first. One contact, saved as work emergency. The texts made my stomach turn. I miss you. Last night was incredible. Can't wait for Tuesday. The photos were worse. I only looked at one before I closed the app. That was enough. The calendar had recurring events. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Labeled League Night. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely close the drawer. My sister walked in 2 minutes later holding coffee. You okay? You look pale. I'm fine. Just a headache. I spent the next week trying to figure out what to do. Tell her and break her heart 3 months before her wedding. Stay quiet and let her marry a cheater. Neither option felt survivable. Then fate intervened again. My sister called me on a Wednesday night, voice completely flat. The wedding's off. What happened? She was quiet for so long I thought the call dropped. I found a phone in his desk, a second phone, with messages to someone named Erica. I closed my eyes. I know. The silence that followed was deafening. You knew? Her voice cracked. How long? Since the engagement party. I heard him on a call. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to ruin everything if I was wrong. She didn't say anything for almost a minute. I could hear her breathing, trying to process. Why didn't you tell me? Because I loved you too much to hurt you, and I hated myself for it every single day. She hung up without another word. We didn't speak for 2 weeks. I sent texts she didn't answer, left voicemails she didn't return. I'd lost my sister trying to protect her. Then she showed up at my apartment at 11 p.m. on a Thursday. Eyes red, mascara everywhere. She stood in my doorway and just stared at me. I should hate you, she whispered. I know. I found out who Erica is. She works at his company. They've been together for 2 years. 2 years. She looked at the floor. He was cheating on me before he even proposed. I didn't know what to say, so I just opened my arms. She collapsed into me sobbing. We stood in my doorway for 10 minutes. Neither of us moved. When she finally pulled back, she looked at me with something I didn't expect. Gratitude. You knew something was wrong. You tried to protect me even when you couldn't prove it. That stupid phone call at the engagement party probably saved me from marrying him. I should have told you sooner. She shook her head. I wouldn't have believed you. I was too in love. I needed to find it myself. She stayed at my place for a month after the breakup. We watched terrible movies and ate ice cream and slowly rebuilt what Brian had almost destroyed. A year later, she met someone new. A guy who doesn't have a second phone, who doesn't disappear on Tuesday nights, who looks at her like she's the only person in the room. Their wedding is next month. I'm the maid of honor. When she asked me to do her speech, she said one thing. Tell them how you knew before I did. Tell them you were relieved when that venue flooded. I will.